Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. I need you guys to smash that like button because today I want to show you guys the new plugins I've been secretly working on. We've been building these last couple of days. That's why you haven't seen as many videos. And our black box bundle owners are getting the benefits of becoming black box bundle owners. Okay, so for those who don't know me, I'm Game from BusyWorksBeats.com. We train over 1 million producers around the world. Some have gone to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, Polo G, Trippie Redd, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Glorilla. We've had 3 confirmed Grammy winners and multi-platinum plaque winners. Now I say that because people who watch my videos are not always, they don't know the deep history of BusyWorks Beats. Okay, so we're gonna add this to our mixer. I created a lot of plugins, basically 8 new plugins that are rolling out to our black box bundle owners. But this one I want to show you guys today is the new compressor I've been working on. Now this thing has tons of modes on here based on different ways they go about transforming a wave. So let's start off with the FET compressor. Now I'm working on some drums that are pretty bland to begin with. This way we can actually hear the transformation. So I'm going to drive the drums a little bit harder. So the first thing I'm going to do with this compressor is just lower the threshold so it can capture more of the signal. Now there's different modes and these are all different. The most aggressive modes are going to be your FET all buttons in mode, which is in 1176 when you press the 4:1 ratio, 8:1 ratio, 12:1 ratio, 20:1 ratio, you get this like combination of all these different compressors all active and it creates this crazy harmonic distortion. So let's push the input. Okay, so we're gonna listen to the snare. Now I'm gonna pull in the room mic. Set these levels right. So let's do a quick A/B. Here's before. We're hitting at about -6. Let's turn it on. Let's pull out about 3 more dB. Try not to make this audio example so quiet. Okay, now we're going to use this density knob. Now this density knob is going to create more harmonic content. It's built similar to this mastering compressor I love. It's just a little bit different than the other DSP we use for the other plugin I'm going to show you guys today. So it's just adding the fullness, I'll say, to the drum. So here's before. Getting a real live sound. Now let's switch the modes just to show you guys how these all. Now this one's very crunchy. Here's before. Let's try the opto mode. Now this is a more musical, like shaping compressor more than it is about the tone. It's more about the groove on this one. So here's before. See how much fullness it adds? And if you oversample, we're gonna get more definition onto the sound. Now we also have a look ahead mode. Now when you turn this on, if you are trying to do parallel, it basically delays the signals, the audio buffers. So in short, if you're gonna turn the look ahead up, don't mess with the dry wet level. You're gonna hear latency. If you want to use parallel, turn the look ahead down because of the way we have to use the buffer blocks in audio. We have to look ahead. So here's before. Here's after. Now I want to mark the dB. So where are we at here? We're at about -3, -6. Okay, now if I turn the compressor on, we're in that range of -3 to -6, but it sounds way louder. Okay, that's why this density knob is so important. Now this is just acoustic drums. We're gonna move to vocal and a guitar example soon, but let's switch the modes here. I like the envelope on this one a little bit better than this one for this drum. Here's our VCA. Now this one I gotta really watch the peaks here. That one's a little snappy, okay. Here's the voltage controlled amplitude, bus mode. So more of a snappier tone. It's probably better for some bass. I don't have an electric bass on hand to play for you guys, but that's more for like bass. Now let's do the Varimu. This could be used on your mixed bus, stereo bus. Now this is, again, an aggressive. Now one thing I'm gonna do so you guys can really hear it is turn on the room mic. This will capture some of the reverb in the drum so you guys can hear the actual, what the compressor is doing to the level. So here's before. It goes pew, pew, like that. Now let's turn the compressor on and now it's gonna go pew. Like, now FET is going to give you the most aggressive type of sound here. Let's try higher ratios here. Now, I don't try not to demonstrate too much limiting. Just want to show you guys, even at subtle amounts. Now, this diode is going to give you guys a lot of crunch. So let me pull back the. Now, this is when I would use the dry wet level. So let's pull back the look ahead because again, it's going to add a latency if we don't. And let's blend this in. So this is more of like a pop, you know, cinematic pop type sound if I had to categorize it. So these, I would say the most transparent ones are Varimu, the two of these, and then the pulse width modulation mode. Opto, it does shape the tone, but if you're going for aggression, we're going to go FET compressor, diode, and the FET all buttons in mode. But the main thing though is this density knob. This is the real secret. Let's turn the wet level all the way up so we can use the oversampling. All right, now let's use this on stuff that we actually use, like trap drums and stuff like that. All right, so now we have these loops from Count. Shout out to Count. Let's load up the BusyWorks Beats compressor, just this compressor. And let's add a little animation to this loop. Try not to get it to clip. All right, so now let's turn this. Now, before I go to the density knob, I'm going to actually push the input in before I go straight to the density knob as a way to add harmonics. So as you guys can see, this one's not super kick heavy. As you guys can see, the optos trigger differently. think the diode might be the best for this one because it adds like a bubbliness to it. Like almost a powderiness. Now the key is just leveling. I think the loops are a little too loud. Let's turn these down. All right, now let's go back to the compressor. So here's before. You know, it's like cool sounds, but they're just there. They don't feel like they're cohesive. Now I'm going to show you guys the crazy combination. I also have a tape emulation plugin that models different tapes. So the first style is, my favorite is T-Ock tape machines. That's my favorite sound. There's also Tascam. I call it Tascam, even though it's probably Tascam or something like that, but I call it Tascam style. And then we have the Ampex style, which not my favorite, but personally my favorite is the real mode, which is modeled after like T-Ock tape. And then you have triode modes and pentode modes. So if you want that ripply sound, this is more of a modern saturation. And then you have pentode, which is more of a loud lifter type thing. So I'm going to add this powdery real mode to add like the, you guys will hear it. And also have dynamics in here so that we're adding another compressor, but the magic is this density knob is different than the density knob here. This one is more of a generalistic density, but this one comes from my favorite mastering unit of a compressor. Just the way it handles harmonics is just my favorite thing. Now this one is different math. So, excuse me, this compressor has different math behind the density. It's not the same exact thing. Let's go to the dynamics. Turn this density knob up, as you guys can hear. It's less like crunchy across the whole spectrum. So if you want a crazy combination, add this compressor with the tape emulation. Makes everything. So for example, here's before. Again, it sounds good. It's just stuff is just there though. Let me turn up the level. So again, here's before. We're even clipping at a certain point. All right, now let's add the energy to this. We can even add the color, which is adding some bass boost in here. Let's add some either 60 or 85, 60 or 75 hertz in here. Let's try 75. Boost that up a little bit. There's also a soft clipper in here. So if you push your levels really aggressively, see how much life it adds? So we're hitting at, what is this, negative, we're negative 555. So here's without. We're clipping, and we don't have the same amount of energy. We're even hitting at -2 on average. And even clipping. But with the plugins, we're not clipping and we have more energy. I'm pushing this pretty aggressively. We're at -5-ish. So if you're really crazy like me, you can add some stereo delay. This is for more sound designers though. again, that's for more like people with sound design. I would not recommend that for most people. That's really just a sound design tool. You can even add the wow, which is like a slow pitch bend. It adds some noise. Make it sound like you recorded this. Yeah, flutter, which is a faster pitch bend. So you could add flaw to the audio, basically. So let's turn off the tape emulation. I'm going to turn off the hiss. Okay. Here's without tape. Here's with it. Now let's try this on a trap beat and then we'll wrap this up. All right, so here we have like a Don Toliver style track. Now here's without the tape emulation and another plugin of ours called the expander. So here's no effect. Just very smooth. Here's with it. This is on triode mode, it's more modern mode, more modern genres. It adds like a Ripley sound. So again, if I turn off the tape, it sounds very smooth and kind of flat. Here's with it. Turn that back. Now, if I want to, get more aggressive with it, I wouldn't push it this aggressively, but you could. All right, so now let's move over to Logic, where I have another trap beat, and it's utilizing the new compressor and the tape. So let's go plugin by plugin. Turn on the compressor. Instantly adds that lift to the sound as before. Here's after. And next we're gonna add this tape emulation when the 808 kicks in. See how these two plugins, back to back just are crazy. I'll let you guys grab it for yourself. Go to busyworksbeats.com/black. Now, these are only for Mac right now. We're working on the PC releases, but we're rolling that out to black box owners. Current black box owners will get this as an update. Thank you guys for watching. That's where I've been making you guys some dope plugins. Go to busyworksbeats.com/black to learn more. Peace out, guys. Subscribe if you're new. Peace.